Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Good Friday morning. I hope you're all doing well, though every morning may feel like a Friday morning at this point to you. Today, we're going to be back in the book of John, John chapter 1, verses 9 through 13. And what we'll see here today is John is just going to preview for us the rest of the book of John. It reminds me a lot of when I was a kid. I used to go to the movie theater. So like the first 20 to 30 minutes before the movie would start, as we all know, are just previews, usually related to the genre of the movie. But as a kid, I didn't necessarily mind the previews. Some people hated them. I didn't mind them. Why? Because I got to go check out all of these upcoming movies, most of which I had never even heard about. And what would happen is the previews would kind of build up the plot line and kind of leave me hanging, leave me suspenseful, wanting more. And so they got me hooked so I could come back and pay them more money and watch those movies. So in a similar way, John here in these verses kind of previews what's going to happen throughout the rest of the book of John, hopefully hooking us and leave us wanting more. But he starts by, in verse 1, remember if we go back, starts in John chapter 1, verse 1, by introducing to us this Jesus, right? This good news of Jesus, this euangelion, this Jesus who was in the beginning, who is eternal, who is all-powerful, who stands above the created order. And then he moves on to John the Baptist, where we learn and God answers that implicit question that the people must have been asking, right? For the past 400 years, we've had nothing, Lord, no prophetic utterance. It's been silence. It's been this deafening silence. Where have you been at, O Lord? Have you left us? Have you abandoned your people? And just in the name John himself, we saw yesterday that God says, I have not. I'm about to be merciful, gracious to my people. Here, we get a preview of what that will look like. Starting in verse 9, it says, the true light, which gives life to everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God, who were born not of the blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. So he says this Jesus is about to erupt on the scene, but what's going to happen, right? He's coming, but the world's going to reject him, right? He's coming, but his own people are going to reject him. It's not going to be this glorious thing where everybody's just falling down on their face. There will be some who reject him. And John warns us of that here. John warns us of that here. Then he goes to verse 12. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God. So for all of those who receive Jesus and who believe in his name, he gets past this intellectual knowledge of Jesus, this historicity, right? Just proclaiming that Jesus was this man. No, you had to believe in his name. You had to trust in his name. You had to believe that he was who he says he was, that he was Lord and Christ, that he is God and man. For all of those who believed and rest and trust in him, he gave the right to become the children of God. And how were they to be born? Who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. They were to be God's own, not as a result of their own works, not as a result of their own doing. God was going to rescue them. They would be reborn according to the will of God. So this Jesus is going to be rejected by man, but for all of those who believe, who trust in him, he will give the right to become children of God, and they will be born because of God. And so here we have the preview of the rest of the book of John. Get ready for a lot of rejection. Get ready for a lot of pain and hate and rejection of Jesus. But for all of those who will trust in his name, you will have what? You will have life because of it. So that's what John introduces us here to. That's what he kind of previews us here to. And tomorrow's Saturday, but next week, starting in verse 14, we're going to see that word, that logos, becoming flesh and dwelling with man. Thank you guys. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.